Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode with Rare Gliscor 1 trying to take a shortcut down onto the pier. Gets incredibly lucky, quickly getting the Sultan into reverse, and amazingly the fence held out. I mean, it got a little bit cracked, but under all the weight of the car, it's very much saved the Sultan from going for a bit of a swim, although it is now relatively so. Not the ideal place to park your car, really, when you're trying to get down onto the pier. Sticking with the theme of Sultans, Static Sheep is racing through the streets of Los Santos when things go a little bit wrong. Just loses the back end of the car, but is saved from a massive accident by a magically appearing bus stop. They're very useful sometimes very irritating, I would imagine. Crazy Slim Dude 6 is doing a high-speed race on GTA 5. The car's ahead, not quite as quick across the jump, lands on the back of one of them, and they both go for a huge tumble. That is a very high-speed accident. Yeah, one of the big wings on the Zentorno, I think, got caught under the entity. Carfan93 is doing a single-player race on GTA 5 with some motorbikes when all three of them go into the side of a Citroen. One of them doesn't fall off immediately, but then drives into a wall and then falls off his bike. So player gets up, runs towards the bike to try and pick it up, gets run over again. Not the greatest segment of that race. Sticking with GTA 5, we have a truck that has got the rear tyre shot out on its trailer, and an unfortunate player choosing a really bad time to try and get past. Yeah, not really the not the luckiest of players getting stuck underneath the flailing trailer. Mr. Chaotic on GTA 5 is trying to push one of the abandoned Grangers into the water. His friend successfully manages to deposit one of them, and then will come back, or he's going to come back, and try and give this guy a hand. However, as he manages to just get himself free ever so slightly, his friend doesn't quite have time to stop and goes soaring over into the water. Two Grangers ended up in the water, just not quite the two that they were intending. Manual with Clutch is minding his own business on GTA 5 when everything starts going a little bit crazy. Now, we have seen some rather impressive chain explosions before. This one here is probably one of the best. The plane, I don't know if it was a player plane that came down or quite where the plane came from. Either way, it blocked the motorway. And that is sort of some cars crashed into it, they exploded, and as more and more cars just keep filing in to this area, they keep catching on fire, that explode. They don't set off the one behind it that'll start catching on fire. But because there's kind of enough time, the cars, that are spawning further down the motorway are just sort of reaching and joining in the queue as it just keeps on going and going. You see the is it a rancher to the right-hand side is on fire. The ambulance is on fire. The ambulance has gone up in smoke now. It got exploded one way, exploded back the other way. It's not normal that you would walk quite so calmly through this chaos. And there you go. As another ambulance has joined in, and that's on fire and will be quickly going up as well. It does gradually start to calm down. Something on my left has exploded as well. That is a hell of an explosion chain. I can never get impressive explosion chains like that one. Up next, we've got a Madman on Mad Max. Is trying to get away from an enemy car. Has just appeared, fires the boost, mistimes it. Turns out the base has got some very interesting defences. The pinball mode is strong in that particular section. Lazy Chicken on Just Cause 2 is trying to take a shortcut, gets it wrong, bounces off a tree and goes for 3 or 2.5 rolls with his Jeep. The gunner probably wasn't too happy about being flung out of that one, but there we go. Fuzzand on Just Cause 3 is going for a little bit of a rampage with a tank. Good fun to do on this game. Much chaos can indeed be caused. However, the game has had enough of it and decided the tank should go firing. I think I saw it at about 350 kilometers an hour as it got launched into the sky. That is one hell of an impressive flight time, as the little stunt driver thing will tick up 1.6 kilometers. The tank was fired, and amazingly is still in kind of one piece. There's a lot of fire going on, and I probably wouldn't stay around in there for too long, but it didn't instantly explode on impact, which is pretty impressive. Dagaz on Need for Speed Underground 2 is just going to start right. I'm just looking at the hideous Peugeot on the left. That is impressive. Either way, as he gets underway, the MX-5 is deciding he wants to try and pit maneuver the Peugeot. The Toyota has got a spring and lands perfectly on the nose. I have no idea what caused the Toyota to spring up in the air, but that is a seriously impressive landing nevertheless. Well done, AIs. We're on to Grand Prix Legends next with the boss as he is driving the classic Honda. Now these cars are not exactly the easiest things to drive, and gets a little too much oversteer into a long corner car, goes skating off, and then we're going to cartwheel our way. That's a lot of very high speed rolls. You know, and it looks so spectacular as well with the kind of the open wheels, and the wheels kind of stuck out quite wide. It looks a very spectacular roll. And finally, we are on to War Thunder. It's been a while since we've had a War Thunder clip. The plane is already relatively battered. An enemy managed to shoot off the tail of this aircraft, and now we begin to spin. One of the engines is dead, so the one that remains working is just going to keep spinning and spinning, and still it's going. And it's such a gradual descent, the plane can land perfectly on the ocean. That's quite an impressive, if unintended, landing. However, that is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you would like to submit to this series, then you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. At the very top of the page is the FailRace clip submission section, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit the clips. But that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.